Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Experience Kills, episode 35, E3 Extravaganza Part 2! That's right, if you haven't checked out Part 1, it only actually finished processing and going live about 2 hours ago, because it took ages, because it was 3 hours long.
I meant to ask what the final runtime was.
Just shy of 3 hours, like just
3
under.
hours.
Well, it was a double episode, if you think about it. Like, normally we do about 90 minutes. We came in at 3 hours. I think we did a lot there. Do you you guys want to know something funny before we get into Xbox and Bethesda?
I'll go on.
I hit the character limit on the YouTube description. Not only just either. 5,000 character limit. I clocked in at 7,500 characters with the show notes I had. I had to do a lot of editing to get the information in. I ended up having to use a URL shortener on half the URLs just to get the character limit down. So that took a age. So
you've had a bit of a busy day today.
I have, and then my internet crapped out just before Xbox, so it's been a thing. I should introduce people. We're chatting, but yeah, it's been an eventful E3 weekend thus far. With me today, as always, my co-host in crime. You know, I'm not in crime, but everything as well as crime, as well as when we do our heists and our awful
crime too.
The crime pair. The polemic pair it'll always be what I go by. I do love that, the polemic pair. It's Rob.
Hello.
He's here.
Yes.
He's
Microsoft,
a trooper.
Bethesda.
Oh my God. Look,
my Sunday has been XPKing. Not as much as Ben's, though, to be fair.
No, but I tell you what, close. But I was feeling quite tired after 3 hours of podcasting and the last 4 or 5 days of collecting information and just watching everything. But that reinvigorated me, and I'm hoping our other podcast participant today, Leah, is also feeling invigorated and excited by what we just experienced. How about you? Feeling good?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I was writing a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
And very fast.
Did not stop.
Your hand cramp. Mine almost did.
Did not stop, did it? For 90 minutes. There was a couple of breathers where we had some cool people having a little chat, but very minimal. I mean, though Xbox knows how to do E3 now at this point. Those guys nailed it.
Yeah.
So before we get into specifics, and we'll do the whole thing, we'll run down, I think, from top to bottom, you know, in order, and we'll chat if you guys are all right with that. But you're feeling good? I'm feeling pretty wowed. I'm feeling hyped right now, I have to say, and energized and excited.
There are a few specific high points. There are lots for me of going up and down in the hype. A few like huge standout moments for me, but yeah, it was a good show. Very good show.
It's weird. I don't have show notes referred to. It's freaking me out. Right, Leah, how do you feel? You feeling good?
I'm feeling good. There's one thing I wanted that wasn't there. But
You can say it now if you want, because we're going to get to what was.
I wanted motherfucking Fable.
But look, just remember, Fable is using the engine they're using to make Forza Horizon and Forza. Oh my God, how good did that look? We'll get there soon.
It looks good. That's lovely. I want it now.
Okay, but you want everything now. You want new that. You want new Dragon Age. You're just greedy. You're gonna get Dragon Age. We'll see that next month, I reckon, at EA. So.
Yeah, but then it'll be like 2022 or something.
It's not long. Think about how quick the last 18 months went. Like, seriously, disappeared.
Yes, quick is what's happened to the last year and a half.
It felt like it took a long time during it, but now looking back, it feels like it was no time at all. That's the only way I can describe it. It's weird. It's a strange place we're in. But anyway,
yeah,
shall we?
I think we disagree.
Okay, fair enough. Shall we get into it? What was first? Remind me, people who have notes, because I do not.
Starfield. They opened with Todd Howard.
They did.
And yeah, confirming, of course, that Starfield is coming to Xbox exclusive day one.
Exclusive.
So that's been rumoured for a while.
So how do we interpret this wording? Is this an exclusive in perpetuity? Because they didn't use, throughout the show, they didn't use any terminology like timed exclusive. They did, however, use things like console launch exclusive, right? So I still think there's room, but I'm hoping that's permanent Xbox PC. They need that. They need that shit, don't they?
That's what it sounds like to me. Yeah. I reckon Starfield is ours.
Ours? Wow. Territorial much?
Xbox.
Console war. I thought you meant Rob's. Personally, his. Starfield is Rob's. His. But we got a November, didn't we? November release date for this in 2022. So 18 months.
22.
Yeah. 18 months, which is, I think, a good
That's fine.
Good window.
Because this year we've had confirmation of release date. Next year we will have gameplay.
Yes.
You know, that's probably what we're looking at time-wise here.
Next year we'll find out it's gone to Q2 2023.
Stop talking, Ben. It's fine.
Did Bethesda actually do that? I don't recall them doing that.
Did Bethesda not known for their delays? No, I guess not. They kind of hit what they say they're going to hit. And Xbox in general,
whether it's good or
with
bad,
that.
they hit what they say they're going to hit.
Yeah, it's just not finished.
Fallout 76.
That game, right? That came up in the show. I mean, it's probably not a big talking point, but so I'll mention it now. But they've done a lot of work to that. That I should go back and check that out.
Kind of had to.
I should go back. They put NPCs in it, for example. There were no NPCs in that game. So they've done a lot of work. So Starfield, we've got to look at the universe. It's not in-game. We've got an idea. It's hundreds of years in the future, which I was surprised by. I still think the look of it doesn't scream hundreds of years.
No, I put a note of advanced NASA.
Yeah, I still think it's my prediction of it starts at a closer point and something happens to project the player, or we jump forward in time, or something happens to put us into that hundreds of years in the future point of view. It's still the impression I've always said it gives me is Interstellar, and I still get a strong Interstellar vibe off of Starfield.
Do we think a Buck Rogers type situation?
Oh, like he's like gets stuck, gets like frozen, doesn't he? And then he gets woken up later on. That'd be cool.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah, like fish out of water. I mean, that's the Fallout. That's the Fallout concept, isn't it? So that's the whole setting for Fallout.
Use that in space, though.
I mean, you could, but no, maybe not. I don't know. It just didn't look that futuristic. The robot looked quite clunky and
some mechs wandering around and stuff like that.
I don't know if I call it a mech. It felt more like a helper robot, didn't it? Like quite basic loader
helper
type.
mech, helper robot, 6 of one, half a dozen of t'other.
Also, the engines and the whole like they look like big booster rockets to get that ship off. They didn't look like anything like fancy anti-gravity tech. It was like quite grounded.
That.
No, don't get me wrong. I think it looks cool as fuck. I love how the cockpit with the switches and the and the fact that the NASA comms sounded like our NASA communications now, it all made me think it's not gonna be hundreds of years. It really did.
They haven't gone down the sci-fi tech of going, yeah, you can just go faster than the speed of light because we've said you can. That they're trying to ground it in what we know, which I quite like.
If we can do some stuff with relativistic physics, I'd be well excited. There's a series of books I love that deals with that in combat tech, terminology with the distances involved in space are freaking. That's the biggest problem I think with video games, isn't it? And like film and TV and everything. The distances in space always get minimized for the sake of excitement. And honestly, everyone does it. Everyone does it because you can't have real distances because nothing happens for a very, 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 very long time. So I don't know. I'd like some kind of nod or at least connection to that reality rather than the fiction of it. I think it looks great. I'm very excited to see what that game is going to be, and especially as it's going to be for the new Gen 9 and up. I don't think it's going to be on old hardware, for example, especially as we're getting games later this year that seem to not be on old hardware. So but we'll come to
that would start happening.
We're going to come to that later. You did predict that. I thought it would be longer, but I don't know if that's confirmed, but everything I saw in that trailer, there he is, half a nose. His podcast cat. He's got to be a star. He's got to be a star. He's got to be a star. But no, I do think what we saw, it definitely indicated that there's no way the old hardware could pull off what we saw later on. But
no.
Anything else?
He's expecting pets.
Anything else on Starfield?
I noted that I don't think it was the ship, but like the company or the organization was called Constellation. That's about it. It just looked really good.
It looked like a lived-in world. They went out of their way to show a half-eaten sandwich, a bit of a cluttered common room, didn't they? Like on the ship,
broken helmet,
with a sticker on it, "Do not use." That's very well. I think the your doy. I think the other thing like that's heavily inspiring stuff like Starfield is shows like The Expanse, which make that very realistic, gritty, lived in world. So if we can get an Expanse style video, my god, I would never not be
That
playing.
might be the direction they're going.
That would be
You
so
wouldn't
good.
come down off the ceiling, would you?
I would be so hyped. I would just love
Not
that.
even for Mass Effect 4?
Well. Yeah, we'll see if anything is shown at EA, won't we? We'll get there later. I just, it's always nice to see Todd Howard. This show was interesting because the whole thing in general was very much a partnership between Xbox and Bethesda. They know what Xbox knows what they've got here is the golden goose, you know, and they have to treat it well. And I think that the fact that they're letting it keep its own identity and they're having their own time at these shows and they're not trying to like railroad it into a Microsoft culture or whatever, very smart. Very, very smart. Don't go down the EA route and just eat up developers and then turn them into dust. So, yeah, it's cool.
Good to see Todd as well.
It's always good to see Todd. It's always good to when he comes out and makes his promises.
Even Phil Spencer, when he turned up later, he was in a Bethesda jacket over his Xbox t-shirt. Although, now, I think Todd Howard or the second Bethesda guy that appeared, I forget the gentleman's name who came on, he was wearing Redfall or whatever it is that I think it's Redfall, the last thing.
Yeah.
Bite Back. He was wearing that logo. I was thinking, I don't recognise.
No, I thought the same. I was like, what is that? That's related to something. We got that. We'll talk about that at the end.
I thought it was like a Wolfenstein logo because I don't really follow Wolfenstein hugely, so maybe it was that people would pick up on. But no, so that was a nice little tease. I was like, that's what he was wearing at the end. That was really, really good.
So, what did we get next?
We got Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to guess I already know the answer to this question, Rob, but you're a PC gamer. You may have played Stalker.
What do you think the answer to that question is, Ben?
I'm trying to be optimistic here. It's an old game. It's going back some, and it's going back away.
I recognise the franchise, but I've not played it.
So Stalker was to like give you some context. Stalker was Metro before Metro.
Okay.
Right? So it's very much that Eastern European, Polish, Russian sort of fiction. Obviously, it would have to be set in and around Chernobyl. But I couldn't I could not stop thinking of Metro when I watched this trailer. Like, this looked so much like Metro Exodus that it feels like a bit like a knockoff, to the point where if I was the guys at 4A working on Metro, I'd be a bit miffed that it looked like Stalker were coming back to try and have their lunch. But to be fair, Metro had Stalker's lunch first, so I guess you can't really blame him for it. But what did you think of it?
Meals.
Yeah, to expand upon my analogy there, I suppose that's fair. They are swapping meals. Quite gross. Hopefully before they've been eaten. Yeah. So what were your guys' takeaway from Stalker?
It looked a bit annoying, to be honest. Well, it did. The only thing I liked really was the kind of lightning gun thing at the end. That was cool. But the characters seemed a bit annoying, especially that curly dude.
I had Tesla gun with 2 exclamation marks as one of my notes there.
Well, you guys are lined up. Were you swapping comments throughout or something? You both got Tesla gun. I love it.
It's cool. Like it looks like it's made for next gen as well, by the sounds of it. I think that was said. It looks very grimdark, like post-apocalypse type thing. Chernobyl is a pet favourite setting of mine anyway. I like Chernobyl. I have a fascination about the Chernobyl disaster and everything happens out of the elephant's foot. All of that. It's going to be really interesting to see if they talk about what happened in Pripyat and in Chernobyl and all that sort of thing. That's going to be really interesting to see. I might pick it up. Obviously, it's coming to Game Pass day one.
If you're fascinated, you should go back. You should go back and play. There's 3. So there's Stalker 1, and then there's like 2 spin-off, not full games. You should go back because you probably won't get as much in 2 of that sort of connection, because at this point they're going to probably just double down on their own fiction. But there is a lot of that in those original games, and it's all to do with something called the exclusion zone, which is a real thing. But in this, it's like full of anomalies, and it's caused mutations, and it's like
it looks really cool.
Yeah, it's dark and scary, and it's got like, it's heavy like resource management sort of side of it. Ammunition is short. You're like developing your weapons and attachments as you're on the fly, and it's very, like I said, Metro has done a lot of this since then. But I'm cool to go back to that. It's got more of a survival element to it. It's actually kind of like one of the proto survival games, one of that genre, of obviously which has expanded quite a lot in recent years. But back then, nobody was doing it. They were the only ones to really do that. So it really sort of set up itself as a unique experience. So no, I'm quite interested in that. I am quite interested. And Game Pass, right? I think it's actually easier to point out the games that aren't on Game Pass as we go, because there's only 3. So I think everything else is. So that one is Game Pass. What's next?
I'm just going to also point out the fact that he is purring.
He's very, very cute.
Like a machine.
Look at that cat. He just wants your attention. He does not like sharing your attention. That's what it all comes down to, isn't it? Right. Focus. Leah, can we have the next game, please? Next game, please.
It's your pet favourite game, Back for Blood, which I was just okay.
It's but it's on Game Pass, right? Rob. Confirmed. The rumours this week did come out. It did leak. Right. But now it's on Game Pass, and you've got no excuse now. I'm going to make you play it with me.
Yes, I do. No hard drive space.
Make me play it with it. You'll find some space.
Buy me an expansion card, and I'll play it with you.
That's October.
Not so expensive.
After your gambit with Cameron, I'm seeing what I can push.
You're not getting an expansion card. Back for October, you said, yes? I think we knew that already. It was delayed from this summer. It got pushed back annoyingly. However, I'm still really looking forward to that. Looks good, doesn't it? Well, not Rob, but I think it looks, maybe just me. You probably don't like the look of it either, Leah. No, okay, cool.
The graphics looked great. Like, it looks like it's been very well made. But I just look at it and see Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, but they're not. They're the people that made Left 4 Dead. So it's
I know they're the people that made Left 4 Dead, but yeah, we've had this debate,
and we will continue to.
Times.
I think we will probably continue to as this game comes out.
Of the week after October the 12th, we will have this debate again, when you inevitably want to turn around and discuss Back 4 Blood, and he's following this pen like a fucking laser sight. But yeah, it looked fine. I will. Maybe you'll be able to persuade me if Richard's in for it as well, and we can get like somebody else involved. So it's 4-player. Then possibly you might twist my arm into installing it.
It's gonna be fun. It's just they're gonna have the zombies versus humans mode as well. The versus mode was where that game was at, where you played as the zombies and just completely tormented people. It was just grief as paradise, which is probably why I liked it so much.
Yeah, sounds about right.
What's next?
We have Contraband.
Oh, this was interesting because
we got very little information about this.
No, but the thing to bear in mind is that Avalanche are the Just Cause developer. So these are the guys that made Just Cause. These are the guys that made Mad Max. So they're known for their open world games. They're kind of experimental gameplay open worlds. So that especially with Just Cause, it's all about giving you lots of tools to have fun.
In which case, I am now excited because they confirmed that this has co-op, and that was my biggest complaint with the Just Cause games, is that they were single-player experiences. Not even co-op 2 to 4. Not even co-op 2. One of the most popular mods for Just Cause 2 ever was multiplayer.
Yep.
So the fact they've gone, yep, it's co-op, makes me suddenly actually interested in this game. Because it's on them.
The issue they always had with their games is, in a way, which was especially apparent with Just Cause, was they were shooting higher than what the console hardware at the time could achieve. So the games were massively hamstrung on consoles. Now, obviously, with the new hardware, I'm hoping they can really show off their kind of fun open world design in a... Well, look, what Contraband makes me think Heisty had a strong sort of 70s vibe again to the trailer, which is the hotness right now, is the 70s everywhere. So
Heisty, you had like an artifact. The little we saw had plans and...
Yeah, and there was that box, wasn't there? It seemed to be that they went and
stole almost, it. Wasn't it?
Was what, sorry?
It was almost like cassettes and that sort of era of tech there as well. It was quite dated. I put down 80s, but I was probably wrong.
Well, it was the music and the color palette scream 70s to me. So I'm
you
cool
would know that more than I would.
I am old, so fair.
But more because of your interest in cinema and
true. That's
older
fair.
movies as well. That sort of color palette and that thing would stand out to you because of that, not because of your age.
I guess, I mean, look, everybody's looking back at the moment, aren't they? 80s was the hot thing for a while there, and I think we've gone back a decade now and back to the 70s. We've seen, obviously, Loki and that visual aesthetic, which we talked about in the previous podcast, very 70s as well. So I think it seems to be the hotness right now. So I'm down with this. It's going to be a while. Did they give any kind of window on this one? I don't think they did they?
None.
No.
Not even a year.
Not a sausage.
When they're ready. Okay. Not a lot to talk about there.
Apparently that date was contraband information.
Yeah, sure. What's next?
You
got one, Rob? Go on.
Yes, next up, we had something that I thought they were going to do fucking ages ago, and that is put Captain Jack Sparrow in Sea of Thieves.
Yeah. It seems an odd time to put it in.
Yes, it really does, considering the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise isn't really a franchise anymore. Despite Disney's best effort. Yeah, like, great.
To be clear,
Okay.
I missed this trailer because I went to fix my computer at that point because I saw Sea of Thieves came up and went, don't need to watch
Well,
that.
right. Yeah, basically. They're putting a story-focused area into it. God for that. They're putting a story-focused, almost campaign into it, where they're putting in Captain Jack, they're putting in Gibbs, they're putting in Davy Jones and the Flying Dutchman. Davy Jones conspicuously not sounding like he was voiced by Bill Nighy, but the other two do sound like they were voiced by their actual actors. And yeah, like there's relics and things you can find by the looks of it, and that is coming on June the 22nd. So
soon.
I was about to say it's coming in a week and 2 days. So yeah, any Sea of Thieves fans?
I mean, we played a bit, didn't we? It's fine.
Yes, we did play a bit.
Rob's like, never again. Ben and the harpoon gun is a recipe for disaster. However,
there's a reason why he likes griefing.
Well, that's not the reason. I just like to mess with people.
You just got bored.
I did get really bored. It was quite boring. So I had to make my own.
Because
fun.
you didn't come ashore and help us.
No, I don't. It's busy work. I'm the captain. I've got to stay on the ship. So there you go. Right.
In what world are you the captain?
Every world. Next.
I think I was hosting the game. Anyway.
His own world.
I'm the captain of
The
experience.
delusion.
I'm the captain of experience kills. Yo ho ho.
Okay. Shall we alternate, Rob? Is that going to be easier?
Yes, you next.
Okay.
Yes.
So basically, all of Yakuza. All of it. On Game Pass now.
Right now?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm so glad I bought Like a Dragon when I did in the sale after Christmas and have yet to play it. I'm so glad I did that. Whoop, Ben. Whoop. I do that all the time. Oh, it's a sale. Okay, I'm gonna get around to it. Never played it. I mean, I played it for about 20 minutes.
Yeah, I've got it. It's great. And then put it down for
It's on
Destiny.
Game Pass. Yeah, basically. Now it's on Game Pass. Well, I'm glad. It's a great series. We talked about it at Game of the Year. Rob is less sure of these. That's fair. They are quite an acquired taste in many ways. But it's like a seminal series. So, yeah, glad it's all there on Game Pass. All the way from, 1 through 6 and this. Wow, that's cool. That's all I've got on that.
Yeah, basically, if you like Yakuza, now is your time. Battlefield 2042, they did some showing of that, which I'm sure Ben was, hyping himself over. God, help you having to deal with him watching that.
I was so excited!
I think you still are.
So excited. Oh my god, it looks incredible! It looks like all the best Battlefield I remember, like Battlefield 4, Battlefield 2. Oh my god, it looks incredible. Oh, I cannot wait. The visuals, the dust storms and the tornadoes, they look absolutely insane. And just the vehicle action. I don't know if they were... I really hope it wasn't a non-fair representation of the game. But the fact was, it looked like everybody at one point was either in a tank or a jeep or a helicopter. And it just looked incredible. I am so hyped for that, mate. I cannot fucking wait. I am 110% in on Battlefield 20. Me and Richard, the rest of you... But I am so... I'm going to lose hours. And then I was amazed that another game that's coming up in a minute... for more multiplayer, even excited me even more than this. But this did hype me. Go on, Rob.
I'm just trying to raise my hand to get a word in about Battlefield. I have something positive to say about it.
Go on.
I rather liked the fact that you seemed to be able to swap between your like magazine attachments, your sight attachments. You go like on the fly in the middle of a match. I thought that was a really, really clever idea, and I thought that was really, really good.
So obviously that's a
nifty feature.
That's been in games before. That's been in like Crysis 2 and other games like that. So we've seen it in other games, but it's never been a part, I don't think, of Battlefield, that level of on the fly switching of attachment. I'm really happy to see that, because you're gonna have so many different types of engagement in that game. You know, like with him in that one, he's gone from outside into a building, into a lift, knowing that he's gonna probably be fighting in a close quarters. So you're switching from like a 4x scope to a red dot sight, which makes perfect sense. And I think that, and maybe put a silencer on as well and that kind of thing. I am really happy to see that. Obviously, 4-man squads, the vehicles, like you calling them in on airdrops, they don't just appear, so that's cool. They come down. So there's some like explanation for that, which is great. And it just looked like
not just a tank shitting itself into existence.
Well, it could have just gone. I don't know. It's games, man. Video games. But like the fact is the scale of it. Just all the guys jumping on zip lines between buildings, and then we had that montage at the end of all the different maps that they were showing off. It just looked like the kind of crazy, mad, modern day, over the top Battlefield excitement that I've been frankly craving, it would seem. So I cannot wait.
I just want to check. Are you looking forward to it, Ben? I'm not quite sure.
Well, I'm kind of like Yes, I am. I was cheering. I mean, actually, I don't think I was cheering out loud. Was I cheering out loud?
Surprised I didn't hear you from here.
I might have been cheering out loud. I can't remember.
You were cheering out loud,
oh,
yes.
Good.
Yes,
oh, God.
Very excited. Whooping I was with joy. It's going to be so good.
Okay, are you ready? Okay. So, Annapurna and 12 minutes. And we have a date of the 12th of August, 2021.
Yes, I have been. This has been on my radar for a very, very, very long time. This game was, I think, shown like in 2017, 2018, something like that, and it's gone around and around in circles, and it's almost like it's been stuck in a time loop. And now they've attached obviously some big name cast to it in the forms of what is it? Daisy Ridley, Willem Dafoe, and James McAvoy. Brilliant actors. Like I don't necessarily think of them as voice actors, except maybe Willem Dafoe, but that's great. That always helps to get the word out about a game. But the concept of a 12-minute Groundhog Day experience, a thriller set in like a small apartment, and about uncovering what the truth is, what's going on through those loops, that compels me. I love Groundhog Day type concepts, everything from the original Groundhog Day with Bill Murray, which is an absolute classic, but we saw Palm Springs recently as well in the last year, which is a fantastic take on that. So as a video game, very, very curious. Coming to freaking Game Pass, so like check it out. Awesome. Yeah, really, really good to see that.
What do you think my take on that's going to be?
You're going to give me a big meh because it's just not your type of game. I've learned that at this point.
Wrong.
Really?
The casting, I was waiting for that.
You set me up, you little fucker.
Completely.
I fell into it. I just went for it. I didn't even think. Yeah, go
on. For Willem Dafoe and James McAvoy especially, Daisy Ridley's pretty good too. Like that casting, that has me interested because the vocal performances in that should be like top tier. So I'm interested enough to at least give it the first 12-minute run through. After all, it's 12 minutes. It's nothing. Just to see how well I got on with that sort of game. I want to try it. It's made me interested and made me curious.
I like that. So I'm interested enough to promise you 12 minutes. No more, no less.
Yeah, I'm at least going to try it, which is more than I would usually do for a game like that.
And I would assume...
Which is a fair point.
Yeah, and I would assume that's why they do that stunt casting. To 100% get someone like yourself interested when they wouldn't be. Makes sense, doesn't it? Makes sense. Actually, that came up in what was it? I saw them discussing the pros and cons of famous voice actors compared to regular, just talented, vocal performers. And it's that balance, that give or take between, well, these guys aren't really necessary. They're Hollywood actors, they can do it, but they're not like, this isn't their skill. And it's like comparing that to someone like an Ashly Burch or a Nolan North who has, that's their bread and butter, that is their skill. And it is like, they're more money, they're going to get a bigger draw, but they're not actually going to be as versatile or as good at what they. So it's this give or take, weighing it up. And I think in a situation like this game where it's probably only those 3 characters, if they, if you can get them engaged enough with the scripts, because I imagine they'd had to do quite a lot of recording because it's this repeating loop of gameplay where you're going to be having different dialogue. I can't wait to see what that game comes out like. I hope it's as good as the potential there. So yeah, that's exciting.
Same. I'm actually really looking forward to that, which is not a sentence I thought I'd say. So yeah. Next up, we had something we had surmised. I don't know if this had been announced actually when we did Game Pass Club a couple of weeks ago. Psychonauts 2. I don't know if that had been announced and confirmed to Apple, or whether that was a complete and utter surprise. I don't know.
It's coming to Game Pass?
That it existed.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, it's been in development for like 4 or 5 years, mate. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Known about it a long time. But the development was, about a year or so ago, was the purchase by Microsoft of Double Fine, the developer. So we knew it was going to be coming to Game Pass. And frankly, it's soon, isn't it? It's August. Finally coming out.
August the 25th.
Finally coming out. And look, honestly, you look at that game. Remember what we were talking about the visual fidelity and the presentation of it being holding the concept back a little bit? And I'm looking at that going, holy shit, this looks incredible. This could be the Psychonauts game that I wanted when I played Psychonauts 1. Do you know what I mean? So it looked really fun. It looked really, really mental. So, and there's some great voice acting in that and some fun character design and it could be really good. And again, Game Pass, why wouldn't you try it? Like, why not give it a go? So
I don't like the art style.
Yeah, it's that twisted Burton-esque thing, isn't it? And you either dig it or you don't really. But I think in that world with that setting, it makes a lot of sense. It works really well. Yes, looks good.
Then we had Pete Hines come out and chat to us a little bit, which is lovely, about Game Pass. Doom Eternal, optimised for Xbox Series X, etc., will be coming out on the 29th of June.
I thought it already was Series X and S optimised.
Nope. I've had it sat on ready. I've been waiting for that patch. Because it already runs really nice, but being able to run really nice at rock hard 4K ray tracing, I'm down for that. I'm down for some of that. So that should be nice, but why not? Also, they announced that they're bringing 10 more games, but it was up on the screen for such a short amount of time. I didn't even digest which games were on that list. So it was just like, yeah, more games. Check it out when you get a minute.
Games better. Bye.
So it's like most of the catalogue now, I think. So some of them were games that had been on previously and then left and are now coming back because of the acquisition. And I think there's some weirdness about some games left Game Pass and went to PlayStation Now and had a deal there. So that we're waiting for that deal to expire before they can come back. I literally did not comprehend what was on that list. It was about a second it was on the screen. So
it also, can't go a year without mentioning Skyrim, which is
10 years,
10-year anniversary,
10
which
years.
is nuts.
Crazy, huh?
But yeah, like it's mad to think that's 10 years, and of course they had to bring it up. So yeah, it's mad. I'm reckoning they're going to do some sort of event. I don't know, they'll release it for the graphic calculator or something. I don't know, some sort of platform that doesn't have it be Skyrim on the Fitbit or something. Just because it's a platform that doesn't have Skyrim yet.
I found the list, by the way, of the Bethesda games, if you would like to know.
Yes, go on.
So, I'm trying to read this and be on microphone at the same time. They're not all on console. Some of these are PC only. For example, Fallout, the classic Fallout games have all come to PC in Game Pass. If you've never played the isometric ones, they're all now available. Rage has come back. I believe that was already. Wolfenstein 2 has come back. I think that was already one that had been there before. Doom 2016 has now been, either that's come back or it's been added to one of them. This is the problem with how they announce this stuff now, because they have the 3 vectors. They have cloud, PC, and console. So they'll say, oh, new Game Pass game, and you'll be like, I'm sure that was already on Game Pass. It's like, oh yeah, because it's been added to the streaming or something, so it's really hard to keep track of what's what. But yeah, obviously Evil Within 2, again, pretty sure that was already there. I was playing it the other day. I'm pretty sure I played Evil Within 2 the other day on Game Pass. Oh, no, I didn't play on Game Pass. I own it. So that's irrelevant. So ignore me.
That was probably why you played it.
That could be why. Another one of those games I've played about 20 minutes of. I did it for an achievement because there was a rewards thing for 500 points for getting an achievement in the Bethesda game. And I was just like, all right, give me an achievement. It took me 2 seconds. What else? That's it. Yeah, and Yakuza Like a Dragon has been added today, as we mentioned. But yeah, so like it. I mean, like, can we? Should we stop talking about how awesome Game Pass is at any point, or? I mean, it's like, it just gets better, doesn't it? Every single week, almost. Like, I feel like we talk about it on this podcast a lot, like, but it is awesome.
We have a fortnightly segment devoted to it.
Yeah, I mean, like, where we literally, like, it couldn't, you don't think it can get any better, and then 27 of the 30 games shown at the Xbox event are on Game Pass, or will be, I should say, on Game Pass at launch. That's insane. It's insane.
There's one coming up. But...
What's next?
Yeah. So.
Okay, on there. So you got Fallout 76, Brotherhood of Steel, Steel Rain, and Expeditions to the Pit. They're kind of like expansions.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
They look interesting, I guess. Like, if you like Fallout, you'll probably if you like Fallout and Fallout 76, you'll probably like these.
I mean, I like Fallout, but even in the other Fallout games, I kind of found the Brotherhood of Steel stuff kind of boring. They were just a basic
Which means
bunch
you
of
probably
like.
get to shoot a lot of them.
Yeah, I get. They're just very like
preachy,
nationalistic kind of faction in the Fallout universe. There, I don't know. The Pit one as well is a weird one for them to make a big deal of. It was kind of like universally the shittest Fallout 3 DLC was the Pit, going to Pittsburgh. So I remember. Do you want guys a little side story? So the back in the day when I was writing articles for websites, that was my most ever trafficked website was to do with the article was to do with the Pit, and it was because I on the day that came out, you might remember this. It came out with placeholder textures and lots of missing textures that just had red exclamation marks everywhere, like they'd uploaded the wrong file. And I got a bunch of screenshots of that, posted it online as like a warning, as a PSA, don't download this because it's buggered. And that's like, it got like 50,000 visits in a day or something ridiculous. So
wow.
My most trafficked ever thing on the internet was that.
Sounds like that DLC was the bit of the pits.
Did
you think there was going to be
almost
that one?
It was almost as bad as that pun. So there you go.
Well, you got up really early, didn't you, to download it and went, oh, this isn't good.
I think I made a point of like, I was quite excited because I feel like it was one of the earlier bits of DLC for Fallout 3 as well. And then it was like, oh, this is entirely broken. This was me taking pictures using a 2 megapixel digital camera as well back then, or whatever it was, like really
the image quality
of the script, like potato. But it was that was reflective of how broken it was. So yes. So moving on to something hopefully more interesting than Fallout 6 DLC.
Yeah. We had. I suppose this is still confirmed. Did you want to cover ESO or shall I?
You do it. I don't care.
Yeah. They said that ESO, Elder Scrolls Online, had passed 18 million players. I still cannot shake the feeling that I would love to play it if it was single player.
Yeah, me too. Exactly how I feel.
Yeah, I've gone back multiple times due to the lovely folks at Bethesda sending me things like Morrowind and the Skyrim expansions from the last couple of years to check it out, and I've always willing to give it another shake. And the Morrowind stuff was the most distinct yet. I really like what that part of Cyrodiil in general, but it just sucks when you go to a quest giver and he's being mobbed by 14 dudes that look like they've come from some kind of fancy dress party, and they're all got stupid animals around them as their little companion guys, and they're all like it just ruins my immersion in that universe. And I'm not that fantasy MMO guy. I never got into like WoW. I never, I tried with Rift and other stuff, but I've never connected with it. The only ones, like, I guess the Old Republic worked really well from a single player perspective. That was nowhere near as egregious as this. They actively kind of tried to prevent that feeling. So yeah, I mean, there's some elements of ESO which are really cool. They have these big conflicts, these big like wars, these big like armies clashing moments, which doesn't really get talked about anymore because the focus is so much on these like expansions, which are like all about the story and about putting in a more Elder Scrollsiness to the game. But I don't know. It's a weird property. I also don't love the combat in it. It feels really, really lightweight and floaty, and you don't really feel like you're connecting. But I guess to be fair, that's just like Skyrim. So
The ultimate Elder Scrollsy feeling they could put in there is single player.
Yeah, and
So-
I just but the problem is the way the worlds are designed, right? Everything is so stretched, right? So every city, every house has to be big to make it capable of holding 30 idiots. So it just kind of like if you did make it single player, it would feel empty. The world would feel devoid of life.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This is, I guess, you just keep doubling down like they have, and it's obviously a success for them. It obviously works. They do really well out of it. So
18 million players. That's a huge player base. So props to them for doing.
I bet
so
you
well.
if you got them to clarify that, that's 18 million unique logins rather than ongoing accounts. I bet you.
So it's 18 players who are very, very determined.
18. Yes. What's next?
Next, we have party animals, which look like gang beasts. Sure.
That was Gang Beasts, wasn't it? I mean, is it the same developer? Can we look that up?
I'm not sure of.
Can we look that up? Can we do the research? Rob's on it. Just because like everything about it, I love Gang Beasts, right? Absolutely love it. So this game actually looks like a lot of fun to me because if it's Gang Beasts but with more varied multiplayer and more varied things to do in it, I'm down because I love that crazy sort of physics-based, silly animation, silly control element of Gang Beasts. It just looked like it's so much though. It's like if that's not related in some way, I'd be thinking about suing. Like that's how close it looked.
Yeah.
Didn't it? Rob's looking up things. We'll wait for Rob to look up stuff.
If you could vamp in the meantime.
Yeah, we've had a lot of fun. I was gonna say we've had a lot of fun playing Gang Beasts, haven't we? In multiplayer and stuff with friends. Couch co-op. It's a great game to play when you've got people over and you've had a few drinks. Absolutely ideal game for that. What have you found out, Rob? You pulled a very shocked face.
So, time for some lawyers. So, Gang Beasts was made and published by Coatsink and Bone Loaf, which I can read my own scroll.
Incredible names.
Yes, Bone Loaf, wonderful. Party Animals, however, that was developed by Recreate Games and published by Source Technology. So, some lawyers.
Totally independent. Wow.
Yeah.
Heavily inspired by, shall we say.
Yeah.
An homage.
We promise we're not Gang Beasts, but disclaimer at the start of the game.
Jesus. That's quite surprising. I mean, it really did look a lot like it, didn't it? But yeah.
Aussie Fighters, it looks fine.
We thought it was a sequel.
Yeah, it reminded me of Gang Beasts, but I couldn't remember the name of Gang Beasts until you just said Gang Beasts. That's when I was suddenly like, yes.
We've got a Gang Beast print on our wall, haven't we?
We have, yes.
What's next?
Hades is coming to Game Pass on August the 13th. And on August the 14th, I will not be at work.
Even though you've smashed it on Switch, that just says so much, doesn't it, about how good this game is. Like, I've played it on PC, I've played it on Switch, and I'm probably going to buy it, regardless of it being in Game Pass, on Xbox. So I just want to give them my money. Because these guys are god level. These guys are god level at Supergiant Games. They're the nicest bunch of people and the most talented developers. Honestly, this game, I'm so glad because it was the one platform that's always the last place for their games to show up. They always go everywhere else first, unfortunately. But Game Pass as well, and it's going to look. I'm hoping it's going to really take advantage of the 4K power of the X, and it's going to just look.
It looks so
crispy.
good. And oh my god, in our group chat, I think I literally put fucking Hades. Oh my god, yes.
You did.
Fucking yes, yeah. Like, I could not be more hyped about this.
You're going to buy the Zagreus figure, aren't you?
Yes, I hate the fact that they're doing it because I'm going to have to buy it.
So they're doing a disc version of the documentary that they did with No Clip as well, and I'm definitely going to buy that, like the making of Hades. So what you?
That behind me there.
That picture.
Yeah.
It's from Bastion, the first
game they made. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just.
We love
Supergiant.
Supergiant. We love them.
I can't not.
Yeah.
I can't not. They're just too good.
I'm glad it's coming to Xbox. I'm glad more players will get to experience last year's Game of the Year. So for many people, including us. Yeah, I think you would. Yeah.
Okay, I will play it as well.
Yeah. What's next?
Keep
them coming. There's plenty to get through.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Somerville. You made me put 3 exclamation marks next to it.
Yeah, I'm down for this. This looked great. This looked fantastic. This looked my jam. My jam. This is, got an inside vibe to it. Got a bit of that kind of side scrolly horror puzzle platformer vibe, story driven narrative. Gonna be weird, gonna be twisted. Some alien shit's going on about a family trying to survive in this weird situation, and they're just gonna be living on their wits, and hopefully they will make it through. Dad doesn't look like he necessarily does. I suspect a game with twists and turns, and it's gonna just be, I love games like this. This is a game I can do in a sitting or two, and I can just take it all in. Game Pass as well. Next year, I think this one, wasn't it?
It didn't say.
Well, put it this way.
2022. That's
2022, yeah. Games like this wasn't on my radar at all. Now it is. Now I'm going to be looking up the developer, looking up the publisher, reaching out to those guys and just being like, I want to bum you.
I'd love to review the game.
No, I just want to bum you. Like, I'm so down. Like,
this is why we don't do late night experience kills, ladies and gentlemen at home.
It's been a long day. But no, honestly, this looks brilliant. This is me. This is my game right there. So well excited. They're all my game. What am I talking about? I mean, I love everything. So yeah, bring it on. What's next?
If anything happens to that dog, I will be very upset.
The dog's probably the most likely to survive the whole thing. They'll kill the whole family first, I would tell you. Almost certainly. It's the John Wick rule. Ever since John Wick.
Up next, we had the 4-letter word. Good old Sierra 117, John, Master Chief. Halo! They showed off Halo Infinite. They confirmed the multiplayer... Yeah, let me actually talk about it before you squee with excitement and explode all over your curtains. The multiplayer for Halo has confirmed to be free to play on both PC and Xbox. So much like Call of Duty, it appears they're doing multiplayer and campaign. They're doing 2 separate entities, which is fine because I can play the campaign till I'm blue in the face, because it looks like the graphics have wildly improved.
Oh God, yes.
Let's face it, was not difficult.
Yeah.
But notice we didn't get any close-ups of any brutes.
Well, so what we saw in game was that kind of aerial shot of the Halo, didn't we? Right, we got that look down at the trees and some vehicles, but we didn't get like a lot of running around, as it were. And I think they're being much more sensible how they're presenting this at this point.
Yes,
we did, however, get like in-engine cutscene-y type stuff of the Chief and new AI companion, but we don't. There's some hints. What is going on there? I don't want to really like the story.
We're missing story
turns
because
have been taken.
At the end of Halo 5,
bitch going rampant.
Cortana has gone homicidal, gone rampant, as the says that. Why is this knowledge coming back to me after how many years? Cortana has gone rampant, going, no, humans, you're going to get fucked.
Well, you know what?
Suddenly that problem has been solved.
Well, no, because I think there's gonna. It's not necessarily. I don't think what we saw there was the beginning of the game, and I think we will get context as to what's going on. However, I know what I'm doing before frickin' November when all of this shit comes out. I know what I'm doing.
Gonna replay Halo,
I'm playing all 5 games, man. I'm going back to the beginning. I'm doing all 5 games all the way through.
I'm all right.
Oh, mate, they're so good. Like, you're not the biggest Halo fan as me. That's fair, but like,
I
can't wait.
No.
Oh, and that multiplayer. The multiplayer. Well, I don't know if you wanted to be quiet on this bit, Rob, because I know you're not. But my God, did it look amazing? Oh,
it did.
Oh my God.
I don't usually go for Halo multiplayer, but oh damn.
I don't know what I'm going to do. Right, so
damn.
Battlefield and Halo are going to be kind of at the same time, and both of their multiplayers, for different reasons, looked unbelievably amazing. I mean, look, we're watching the developers play there, or maybe they've got some like people in the community to help put that video together who are on the inside doing testing for them or whatever. And the people playing were really good, no doubt. There were some incredible clutch moves going on there. The most epic grenade toss of a sword I have ever seen to knock the spawn sword over into your hands to kill a dude was beautiful. Just,
I have one big concern about this multiplayer, and Ben can probably, as soon as I start saying the first letter of the word, will know what I'm talking about. Because the multiplayer is free, in Halo, you always used to be able to earn your armor sets by doing it. And I have a horrible feeling that they're going to charge you for all of the cool armor now.
I just don't care.
Full of microtransactions.
I do. I don't care because... why do you care? Because it's just dress up. You don't care about dress up, right? So it's like, the gameplay, man. If the gameplay is as good as that looks, if you can... Oh my god, like, there's too much in there. For God's sake, watch the video of this, people. I mean, I'm sure you will if you listen to us talk about the Xbox Showcase. You're going to watch this Halo trailer. And it just looked like... It reminded me of the amazing moments I had in Halo 2 multiplayer. It reminded me of the heyday of Halo. Hearing that announcer again, I got goosebumps. It was like just the gravity hammer, the swords in there, some new weapons like some kind of spike gun thing looked insane, like anti-vehicle thing looked super cool. It just knocked a warthog off of a cliff. It was insane. And there's just, like I said, there's some very good people playing that game and making that look as good as it does. Don't get me wrong, but it's achievable. We've all done it playing Halo. We've all pulled off those amazing moves, those no-scope shots across the map, those crazy stuck grenade tosses, and it's all in this trailer. And it just, that and Battlefield, man, have nailed how to show off multiplayer this year. Like, they both look phenomenal. Like, unbelievably good.
I've missed Master Chief's voice.
Yes.
His voice just has a gravitas to it.
Steve Downes is a legend. And yeah, I can't wait to find out what's going on with the AI. What's that Zero-G environment we're in? What's happened there? What is going on? I think they're going to be doing a lot of legwork to sort of slightly reset things, I think, between 5 and 6, because they kind of wrote themselves into a bit of a shithole. So I'm really curious as to what they're going to do to pull it all out and give us a really good campaign experience, as well as an incredible suite of multiplayer. And the fact that the multiplayer is free to play is just smart and clever, and it's going to be amazing to play with a big player base. You're not going to... And also the great thing about that, you know what that means? Skill level is lower. So people have a chance to win, like me and you. So that'll be nice.
It's not smart and clever, it's copying COD. And how does that mean the skill level is lower?
COD has not made its multiplayer free. They made their Battle Royale free, Rob. That's a very different thing.
It's in Call of Duty similar terms.
It's not. Okay, fine.
It's their version.
It's entirely different gameplay. What we're talking about in multiplayer in Halo is adversarial 4v4, 6v6 multiplayer, right? That's not free in Call of Duty.
Yes. But still, they've done the same concept of making one bit of it free and one bit of it paid for, which is what Call of Duty started doing.
Call of Duty developed an entirely new mode that had not been in Call of Duty before to make it free. You are taking one of the core tenets of Halo here in its multiplayer suite
and making it free.
It's a different proposition, and I think it's a really ballsy proposition on their part. What they're saying is the campaign is going to be so big and so awesome that it will justify the 50-60 quid entry fee. And now we have to see if that's true. Like, that's a big ask.
Yeah, that's the proof in the pudding.
Oh yeah, I've got to hope, that they know they're starting something special. Like they've got something good here. But it's this year, man. Like,
yeah.
Who?
We got Holiday.
I can't believe it.
This Holiday's release.
I can't believe it's going to be this year. I cannot believe it. I'm so shocked.
It makes complete sense. They're pushing for Christmas.
But I'm just shocked because yes, I know what holiday means, but at the same time,
no, that was not what I meant, Ben. Come on, they're wanting to get everyone wanting it for Christmas and get that retail spike. Is what they're shooting for. I reckon that's what their target will have been, to get it in before the end of the year.
Yeah, no, 100%. But based on what we saw, everybody thought it was much further away than that. Like, there was going to be a lot more required to get it where it needed to be. Nobody thought it was going to be this year. And the fact is that the slate was so strong. Like, in other stuff we'll talk about in a moment, there's so many big games now showing up at this end of year point that it's quite surprising that they're going to put it amongst all of that. They must have confidence in it. It's really, I'm really excited for it.
I remember a couple of weeks ago we were going, it's going to be a really dry year for game releases. I don't know what we're going to do.
It's certainly not a problem
E3
now, is
heard
it?
us and we're like, well, hold my fucking beer. That's what.
I might actually try it and play it this time.
You should. I love Halo. Halo's amazing.
I always used to watch you play it because I always like the story, but I actually think I might actually do it this time.
What's next?
We have Blizzard and Diablo 2 Remastered.
What's next?
I really like the look of it.
I mean, I played it. I played it 15 years ago. So what's next?
No.
What's next is Leah and I enjoying it when they release the remaster on the 23rd of September this year.
Not in Game Pass, though, is it, this one? Blizzard don't do that. So you have to pay for this one.
It looked really good, and I haven't played it, so I'm quite excited.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anything more? I'm surprised we didn't see, like, Diablo 4.
That would be a Blizzard event.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, but I guess isn't this out on PC already? The Diablo 2 remaster. I
think it is. Yes. So I'm sure Blizzard will do some sort of event, and they'll turn and say, "Well, you've all got these generation PCs anyway, don't you? You know, that sort of thing. You've all got phones, don't you? Because that's what they did a couple of years ago." Anyway, the next game. Oh, that was when they did mobile something or other. One of their platforms. They were queried by the audience, why have you brought this to phones? We don't want this on phones. Well, you've all got phones, haven't you?
Yeah, no, I remember.
Was the response. Oh.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. Anyway, we have the Plague Tale sequel coming up in 2022. There's lots of rats, a tsunami of rats.
Too many rats.
Great.
I think it's fair to say too many rats. This is a big Richard game. Richard loved this. I reviewed it. It's very, very good. I wasn't expecting a sequel. I mean, it was very well received. It got very well reviewed. It's probably the biggest thing Focus Home has ever put out. And it's really good. It's a really, really strong game. Narrative focused. You play as a sort of little girl, teenage girl, protecting your younger brother in a kind of quest across medieval Europe to get away from like persecution of bad men. And well, I don't want to spoil it, but the stuff happens with the little brother, let's say, as we go through this and stuff. And it's very, very good, and it deals with these mechanics where in the dark, the rats, and you have to keep them at bay with sources of light, so like fire and stuff. And yeah, that was a lot of rats, and in the daytime, so the rats are evolved.
Have they considered electricity?
Well, it's medieval Europe.
Yeah.
What if they just worked really hard?
I mean, video games. Possible, isn't it? But no, I get the impression this is Plague Tale Requiem, so that usually means bad things happen. I don't know many good games which are jolly and fun with the title Requiem in them, so it's probably going to be pretty serious.
Well, it's not like the first one was a bundle of joy.
It really wasn't. There were some of the most disturbing scenes of post battles I had ever seen. Just piles of bodies rotting and decaying and being consumed, rivers of blood, and you're crawling through it, and it's just a bit grim, but it's affecting. It's powerful. Sorry,
I hope no one's eating their dinner while that.
Yeah, I mean, I blame Asobo and Focus. They're the ones that made it. I'm just telling you about it. What's next?
We have Far Cry 6 on the 7th of October.
Yeah, we already had a release date for this, but yeah, that was a better trailer, I think, than when we got from them and the Ubisoft showing a couple of weeks ago. I thought it was snappier, but
there was a fighting rooster. That's actually legitimately terrifying. Have
with
you
like
seen the claws on the roosters?
Did you see it had like a crazy like studded choker?
The collar, that's irrelevant. It's the fucking claws on its legs that you
I don't think it's irrelevant. That rooster's got style, baby. Like he's representing. That's a cool dude.
Okay.
Rooster. I'm just saying, you got to know that rooster man is not messing about.
Yes, but the rooster man is beaten indefinitely every single time by the dachshund puppy in a wheelchair.
Yeah, it's so cute.
I know.
Oh my god! I reckon that little puppy dog thing is going to have like a machine gun that comes out of the back of that chair, and it's going to be like, or like a laser, maybe. What do you guys think?
Yes, we're in a game that fires CDs from a gun, and it's going to fire a laser out of a disabled dog.
I mean, the whole.
That's what's going to happen.
I mean, it doesn't sound that unlikely. You've got a rocket launching backpack in this. I mean, why not?
Okay,
Let's say the laser is made through. What would you get? Like, CD players have
Communism?
lasers in them, don't they? Communism and CD players equals disabled dog laser gun machine. The end.
Okay.
Hot take, you heard it here first.
but Far Cry has a long running thing about weird animal companions now. They did quite a lot of them in Far Cry 5, so now we've got the rooster and the dachshund and the crocodile. Don't forget the crocodile in this one. So they seem to be broadening out their animal companions that are effective killing machines. So that's cool. They had a bear and a dog in Far Cry 5. I remember that. Big bear.
Up next, we have a Slime Rancher sequel coming in 2022. Next.
Well, I didn't want to do that because you told me off the last time I did that for the Diablo 2 one. So I just thought, do any of you care about Slime Rancher?
No.
Good.
Okay. We have. Can't remember because this is at the point where I started having to really write fast because they just kept coming. I think it's Shredders.
Yes, Shredders is what I've got for this one as well.
Is that the snowboarding one?
Yes.
Yeah.
That looked cool as hell. Oh, hell.
Fun.
Yeah, I was hoping it was going to say Amped at the end because I'll always hope they bring back the Amped series of games, but I wasn't surprised when it didn't. I love a good snowboarding game. I absolutely they're so chill. Intentional. I just thought, do a Rob there. They're very relaxed. They're very just like laid back games. This looks a lot better than Riders Republic for me. It's like not a million sports, just one going down a slope with some friends, doing some grinds, doing some flips. That looks cool. And the visuals.
This is Snow
realistic.
Mario and Sonic at the Winter Olympics, so that's clearly the best game.
Yeah.
Anyway, shall we move on?
Terrible.
Yes. We have Atomic Heart. Did you get a release date for this?
No.
Leah, I didn't either. Not even a year.
No.
It just is a thing.
I was struggling to remember what this was, and then I remembered this is the one which looked really weird and had the very strange music choice.
So you've narrowed that down really well.
I mean, okay, but I did have a strange. It was strange music.
Yeah,
though, wasn't
it was really weird. Yeah.
Yeah, what was it? It was like a pop song or something, wasn't it? Like German pop song or something, but like first-person shooter, but with weird cyborgy stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know anything
really
about this.
strange.
It looked mental.
The thing I wrote was post-apocalyptic ... thing. That's mostly what I got.
She had squiggly things in front of her eyes at one point that came out of her head.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a choice.
And squiggly things in the hand as well.
Yeah, little bit Avatar-y. Just like squiggly things. Touch my squiggly thing to your squiggly thing means that we love each other. No ideas. No
All
ideas. Sorry?
I'm alright.
Oh, okay. I mean, it wasn't. I wasn't offering to you. I was offering to Rob, but that's fine.
I put my hand down very quickly.
Squiggly things. Touch my squiggly things. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about that. We need to see a lot more of that to actually understand what the hell that was.
I might watch the trailer for that again just to try and figure it out. Yeah, no. What?
Okay, now I think this is Sad Cat and Coat Think, I want to say. Replaced?
Yes. This is what, in 2022? It looked super grimdark, and it's some sort of action side-scrollery type game by the looks of it.
Is it? Replaced. Can you help me out, Leah? Can you help me remind me about this bit?
No, because I was writing at this point.
What was the trailer for Replaced? I don't remember. It's all blending together. I think I remember liking the look of it because it sounds like, from what Rob just said, it sounds like one of mine. One of my types.
This was the one where you were talking about the art style.
Yes.
Yes.
So this is that what I remember it now. It's the pixel art, but like really refined, beautiful animation. Had that cyberpunk vibe to it. Looked interesting. Yeah, it looked like something I would definitely check out on Game Pass. Put it that way.
Almost like pixel art with modern day kind of wind and light and stuff like that.
Yes, the lighting
Pixel art.
stood out. Yeah.
Pixel art, but with effort.
Yes.
Yeah, that they
Fire.
properly they tried to make it look real, but still pixel art rather than going into pixel art. Yeah, but the combat looked vaguely interesting. I might give this a try. I might wait for Ben to play it and tell me about it.
Oh yeah, this was the one where there was like, it did look quite good, the combat, didn't it? Like flipped over a shield guy, like lots of like one-shot executions. And
Exactly.
yeah, it did look quite kinetic when we actually got to seeing some combat. Yeah.
Reminded me of Narita Boy a little bit.
But
with
better.
that sort of frenetic combat type thing. But but better.
Yeah.
Smoother and more gelled. Which was quite good.
It's on my radar now, put it that way. Yeah, another one I'd not come across at all.
So next up we had information about Grounded, which is this weird game where you're very, very itty bitty, and you're very small, and you go into the world of insects for some reason. The Shroom and Doom update is coming on June the 30th. There is some mushrooms, and you can have pets, and you can sit, because that's apparently a thing the community wanted to be able to do in a video game, which they showed requests from people saying, we want to sit. Not sure about context. I might have to give Grounded a go on June 30th, because they've added achievements as well now.
It's another one I went to try and fix my computer during.
Yes.
But it's a fun idea, isn't it? The whole Honey, I Shrunk the Kid setting and all of that, but yes. I don't know. It's a bit too Fortnite-y for me. That's probably why I've stayed away from it.
I might give it a look. They have introduced a massive spider into it, but they have anticipated the fact that there will probably be a fair portion of the nation will literally climbing over their sofas to get away from their televisions at this particular point. So they've included an arachnophobia mode, which reduces this spider to like a disc on a ball.
Yeah, it
hovers in midair.
So there's been spiders in the game since launch, and that slider's been there since it first came out as well. And it's like a really cool accessibility option that they put in the game for people that suffer from it. Though I will admit that the ball still looked quite scary in a kind of abstract way, didn't it?
Oh god, Picasso's come to kill me.
Threatening ball. Leave me alone, threatening ball. I don't know. This game seems charming enough, doesn't it? It seems quite fun and light.
I might give it a look on June 30th when this update hits.
When the Achievos come in, yeah.
Indeed.
There's nothing worse actually, because that's something that happens quite a lot with games in the what do they call it? Game preview on Xbox, isn't it? They don't have achievements, and it's like, well, I'll wait then.
I want fake numbers that constitute achievement.
When it's done right, they still tracking those metrics, and then you'll get the achievements immediately. But I've had times when that's not happened, and that's upsetting, and you're like, I'm gonna have to do all that again, am I? How about fuck you? So, what's next?
I've got Among Us coming soon.
How is it not on Xbox yet?
No.
Just like, it's on everything. It's on everything else, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it is.
More importantly, 15-player lobbies.
Is that good?
Yes, because usually you can't have 10. You've not played Among Us? It runs on potatoes.
I know, I just don't care.
It's a really good game.
Social deception games. Yeah, no, I know, and I know I'd have fun. But I'd want to have it all filled with people I know. I wouldn't find it fun with randos.
It's so good, yes.
Yeah, I'm up for that. If we can get people all together,
a good work crew, for example, a good work team, all joining together in a game of Among Us, for example, would be a really, really good idea.
Yeah, I would do that. But it's randoms. It's just like, I'm not going to have fun with randoms in that game like that.
Yeah, but you get to grief randoms.
Oh, grief. You said my favourite word.
Yes.
Okay.
Suddenly he's interested.
I am now. Yeah, it's true. Only if I can be the bad guy every time. And then I can just always...
that's not guaranteed.
Damn it! Right. Next up.
So next up we had a couple of Jrpgs. The the EIYUDEN Chronicles.
Yeah, I'm really glad
spell it
you
again.
pronounce that.
Spell it.
EIYUDEN.
Iuden?
That.
Iuden?
The Iuden Chronicle.
Maybe.
They look like generic JRPGs.
I thought they looked pretty good.
You'll like these.
I thought they looked pretty good.
I rather like Jrpgs. It's almost 2D but 3D, or 3D but 2D sprites and lots of jumping around and actions, but it's still like flat perspectives at times. It was really nifty. I'm probably going to give these a try in 2022 and 2023.
Yes, I like the one where the character jumped up and punched the enemy, and she kind of punched it into orbit. I was like, that's fun. That's cool. That's a cool attack. Anytime you punch an enemy into orbit, I'm down. Look good. Yeah.
And we had Ascent, 29th of July.
Yeah, that one's already pre-installed on my Xbox because it's been available to do that from Game Pass for a while. And I am really up for some cyberpunk kind of twin stick combat-focused loot shooter. Like, bring it on. That looks like fun.
Quite fun, I must say. I might give it a go as well.
Yeah, it's not long, that. It's like next month, isn't it? I'm well up for that. It'd be good cyberpunk.
Month and a half away?
Yeah.
What's that like?
Don't know. Still waiting. Hopefully it's
get
this.
a dig in, don't we? So yeah, that's good. Yeah, it should be good fun. I put exclamation marks next to this one because I quite liked it. Next up, we had Age of Empires 5 coming on October the 28th. It's Age of Empires number 5, but for this generation, and it's going to be awesome.
Well, not on console, but yeah, that's the thing that keeps weirding me out. They keep showing this at Xbox showings because it is an Xbox Studios game, but at no point have they said it's going to be on consoles. So every time they do it, you get that question pops up in the community again, and it's like, yeah, no, probably not. The thing that weirded me out about this, right? I love me some Age of Empires, absolutely, but are they not attempting any innovation with this game? Like, it looks just like the remasters they've done of Age of Empires 2, for example. I was watching the footage and the units. It's like, yeah, some nice textures, looks high res, looks decent, but the animation, just the vibe of it, everything about like the walls and the walls coming down. It's like, this is just the same game, isn't it? Tell me if I'm wrong. I really want this more, but I can't get hyped for it.
From the trailer, it looked like they were going to do what Total War Warhammer 2 and Total War Warhammer do, and have sort of big named heroes involved. So instead of like faction-related legendary lords, like Joan of Arc was heavily mentioned, and stuff like that. So I don't know whether they're just leaning on historic figures because they
did
can.
That though. They've done that with Age of Empires 3. That's 3. That's the hero. That was the era of Warcraft 3. So it was that kind of hero-led RTS. So they've done that, and it's like.
They might be doing it again. It's still popular.
I don't love that.
That's Total War. That's what they do now.
Yeah, well, kind of, but there's still massive armies that are clashing. But that's not Age of Empires.
Yeah.
Like the unit cap is quite small in Age of Empires. It's like 100 or 200 units max, including all your villages. So it's like you're never.
That?
Yeah, did you not know that? I mean, yeah, it's not big armies. It's like what you saw.
Add a zero, and I'm interested.
What you saw in that trailer of like those it look like 40 dudes on camels facing 6 elephants. That's about as big as it gets.
Army, yeah.
That's about as big as it gets, and it's like.
I mean, yay.
I don't know. I couldn't get hype. I want to be excited by that, but I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I think it's that thing Microsoft has done with some of their OG properties where they play it really safe and they end up just doing the same thing again. Like you've only got to look at Gears of War since the Coalition took over, and you look at Halo since 343 took over and stuff, and it's like they're not really innovating. Though I think this is the one where Halo is gonna do that because they realise they have to after 4 and 5, I think. But this looks a bit safe and a bit more of the same. But just like it's a shame that they folded in Ensemble Studios, the original developers, and basically wiped them out a few years ago, prior to this resurgence in the popularity of Age of Empires. It's like, they must have felt great. I bet that was a happy time at Ensemble. Looking back at this now, like, they're doing a sequel now after they destroyed the studio. Yeah. Next.
I wonder who they've got in the Ensemble voice cast for the enemies. No, that didn't work quite very well. Never mind. Next one.
Next one. Now, this is the most awesome trailer that was there. The Outer Worlds 2. And oh my god, that was a good trailer. Oh, it was a good
trailer. That was just such a great knowing. And now comes the big noise. And you're like, yes.
Yeah,
this was, and I was like, what is this going to be? It was either Fable or Outer Worlds, wasn't it? And it was like too sci-fi, it's Outer Worlds, and I just love the idea of, and here's the hero character, but we're not going to show them in detail, but only in silhouette because the character hasn't been fully designed yet. It's just like, this is amazing.
Is this creature going to be in the game? No, you're never going to see it again.
I love that. That was so good. That was so good. It was just
so sarcastic.
Everything nailed another element of lampooned another element of the problems with pre-rendered early trailers, and they absolutely nailed it. And I was like, props to them for going for that shtick and pulling it off. I am curious. Outer Worlds felt very much like a proof of concept from Obsidian, i.e. do people still want this kind of game? And the answer was a resounding yes. It was very, very, very well received. And the criticism was it's kind of limited, a bit small. We want more. We want bigger. We want blow it out the doors, you know? So I think that's probably what we'll get from a sequel now that Obsidian has shown, you know, Microsoft, as it's one of their studios, that's exactly what people want. So, yeah, bring it. Those guys at Obsidian know what they're doing. That is a great little developer. Really, really good RPGs.
So, next up, we had confirmed for Game Pass on the 27th of July this year, Microsoft Flight Sim, which is coming to console and probably need like a terabyte of installation space or something absurd.
They did something really cool with the PC version. Have you played it on PC, Rob?
No, not even once.
Okay, you're just not bothered, sort of thing, or
no.
Okay, but no, it was like 150 gig, and then the last update brought it down to 80. They did some magic tech to compress things and reduce the install size. So I'm guessing that was in a sort of the thought of console version, you know, so that they've done work to bring the install footprint down for the console. So yeah,
it looked so pretty.
Gorgeous game.
Oh my god,
so gorgeous. It looks great on PC as well. I mean, it's like it just looks. It's one of the things I was really looking forward to trying on my new rig. And yeah, it does not disappoint. I flew home. I flew back to where I grew up, and it was recognizable. It's what everybody does, though. I was reading an article about it. It's like the first thing, 80% of people when they first play this game fly back to wherever they grew up. It's like, that's really funny. It's like, that's sort of sweet. You could go to the Grand Canyon. You can go to New York City. You can go to the all these beautiful places all over the world. No, you go home. That's just what people do. Like, I love that. But no, I look, even better. Free DLC for freaking Top Gun. I lost my mind. I lost my mind.
I lost my mind over the next story.
When that we'll get there. I'm not done. I'm not finished talking about Microsoft.
I know.
But when that first chord of the Top Gun music hit, I knew instantly what it was and jumped out of my chair. And I'm
a bit of a maverick. I've not seen the movie.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me, but at this point,
I managed to use a pun using the right word.
You did. That was quite good. That was quite good. Yeah, but yeah, Flight Sim is an incredible achievement, and that I can't wait to see. I'm very curious to see, because when I played it on PC, I've actually played it with a controller, but I've played it in combination with my keyboard. There is nowhere near enough inputs on a controller to fly a plane in Flight Sim. So I'm really curious as to how on earth they are going to make that work, because like just taking off required at least 4 or 5 keystrokes, like
radial menus.
Yes, probably, but grim, so grim. And I think I said to you as well, if they brought out an official HOTAS, we were talking in the group, I would love a HOTAS for Xbox, like a full joystick setup,
we'd have heard by now.
Yeah, I would imagine so if it was that close. Yeah, but you never know. We didn't know about the mini fridge. However,
we'll get to that.
But
we've known about that for a while.
It's going to look great on the Series X. It's going to look so good. So what's the next one that excited you then?
Leah needs to talk about it.
Okay. So the next one is Forza Horizon in Mexico on the 9th of November.
Yeah, I don't care. Whatever. Move on. Next.
Get the fuck out of here, Ben. We're talking about Forza.
I'm kidding.
I love racing game I play. I love it.
I love these games.
I could not be more hyped about this if I tried. Literally, my notes. All I wrote was motherfucking Forza, November 9, 2021, South America. Fucking all the yes. That is all I wrote. It's so good. There's a party mode with running over pinatas. There's like an event creator mode where you can make crazy events and play with the physics and do bowling. And oh my god, it looks amazing. They've used authentic Mexican artists for some of the art that's located in the game, and it looks basically real.
It's incredible. The fidelity, I just couldn't. So they're using similar tech, the photo, what do they call it? Photo
Realistic
geometry,
stuff.
photos.
Yeah.
There's a special term that they use throughout this. Did you pick up on that, Leah? Because I know you do photo art stuff.
No,
No,
it's
okay.
Horizon. I don't care.
Ooh, all right, shots fired. But no, fair enough. But I mean, whatever magic, black magic, evil sacrifice to the demons they have done to make this game look as good as this. I mean, racing games famously always show off hardware well, but normally that's because they're very limited in their scope. This is not. This is not limited. This is Mexico. You get to drive all over bloody Mexico, and it's got calderas and volcanoes and plains and forests and towns and deserts and just everything. Every biome you could pretty much imagine on the planet is represented in Mexico, and I can't wait. I can't wait to bum around in a ridiculously fast car over the desert in ways that you really should not drive a ridiculously fast car. And
Viva la Mexico.
it's gonna be epic. And how the hell is this game out this year, Rob?
Yeah,
like
that's what's
how did they do
astonished
that?
all of us. I think was the fact that it's out in November. That makes no sense. How has this game flew under the radar so long that it's happening this year? But at the same time, it doesn't surprise me. This happens every single Forza Horizon game. At E3, they announce it for the same year. Happened with Forza Horizon 4, happened with Forza Horizon 3. It always happens when they announce a Horizon.
Yeah, no, sure. I think the surprise was that it wasn't that long ago since we got the last one, and normally the release cadence is Horizon Motorsport, and they're jumping Motorsport. Motorsport's not ready, so clearly Motorsport is going to be the following year now. So we're getting Horizon first, which I'm down with. I like Motorsport, but man, I'd much rather play Horizon. So I mean, and I love sim racers, but the Horizon is just the best car fantasy on the planet. Like, there's no better car fantasy, is there, than getting to drive all these dream vehicles across the most beautiful locations. And I think this could be the most stunning one yet. Like, not just based on
Edinburgh's pretty hot.
I like doing the UK in the last one. And obviously, you've got to think about everybody else who's not in the UK. I think there were some nice varied areas, and it was pastoral when the sun was out, and then it would
Mexico
rain.
is infinitely
But this is
better.
stunning. This looks incredible. I mean, like, rainforests to deserts and everything in between.
Richard said a couple of times in the group that he wasn't 100% sure whether the graphic they were showing was real or in-game engine.
It's mad.
No.
They'd show a static image, wouldn't they, of like a forest canopy, and then it would move back a bit, and the cars would go through it, and you're like, "How are you doing this?" And it would then
follow the car.
How are you doing this? How are you doing this?
Magic. It's the only reason I can think of. It's magic.
So I alluded to the top of the show. They didn't say, did they? Tell me if they said.
No.
Is it exclusive to Gen 9 or not?
They didn't confirm either way, but I get the feeling with this level of fidelity, it kind of has to be.
How would they get that on the old hardware? Like, it would. I get so this engine clearly is impressive. Whatever this engine is that they're using, and it's some kind of proprietary one to Turn 10 and Playground. And bear in mind that's the Fable engine, guys. So be excited about Fable in the future. But oh my god, like jaw-droppingly stunning. And they've always looked good, but this seems to be, with the volumetric lighting, with the ray tracing, with the just the fidelity of the 4K textures, and how good the photogrammetry, I think, is what it was. Now it's come to mind. Technology that they use to reference loads of still pictures to build these realistic texture meshes. It just looks. What's the word? Chef's kiss? Anyone? Mwah. Mwah. Yeah. Anything else to add on Forza? Leah is just like, I don't care, it's driving.
So on their website, on their pre-order page, we've got coming day one to Xbox Game Pass, Xbox Series X, Series S platforms, Xbox Series XS, Xbox One, Windows 10 PCs. So it is not next-gen exclusive, but good fucking luck to the Xbox One that can run this shit.
I think it's going to take off.
Yeah.
Into space.
You may not have a Series X when you're playing it, but you're going to need to by the time you finish the first couple of races, because your other console will have melted.
All I can think of, it will be a massively lesser version when it comes to resolution, textures, lighting, everything. If they want to get it at anywhere usable frame rate, like, surely.
It was built for 9th gen. So, that's what they've made it in mind. Just because it can be compatible with older gens means you probably shouldn't play it on older gens.
It's a strange
cyberpunk situation here.
It's a strange old straddle, isn't it? That we're still getting. Kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? If they didn't have to do that, would it have been even better? Like, it's hard to imagine how, but I mean, they keep finding a way of making these more impressive every time.
Exactly.
We can't hear you, Leah. By the way, I don't know if you're muted or whatever. You're completely.
Sorry, I was. Yes. That happens every Horizon.
Well, yeah, it does. Whenever they show off Horizon, it's always like, oh my god. Oh my god. I remember when they showed off the UK in the last one, it was like, oh my god, it's real. And somehow their art design and the way they put those worlds together are
just
incredible.
A step ahead.
Just like their next, just incredible. I can't wait for Fable.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what these guys do with Fable.
To be fair, generally I don't mind Horizon because it looks pretty when you're playing and stuff. I'm just annoyed because there's Horizon and there isn't Fable. That's why I'm grumpy.
I understand that. I understand. I, however, am much happier that there was a Horizon instead of a Fable.
Are we done with? I need to say Fable. Are we done with Horizon?
Yes.
Okay.
So we move on to the last one, which was from Bethesda. It was a new IP. Brand new IP.
They don't exist. Big studios don't make new IPs.
Well, they do. Bethesda came out and have shown us Redfall, which looks to be some strange shooter of some description that apparently incorporates magic in some way, and pets and little robots, and vampires, because that's who you're fighting.
Are you excited, Rob? Because isn't this just Vampire for Dead?
We don't know that, though.
It certainly looks like it.
It doesn't, because Left 4 Dead, they don't shoot back.
I mean, sure, but it's 4-player co-op, asymmetrical, against large groups of enemies that have boss-style characters. I mean, that seems to be what I took away from the trailer. It was fairly obvious from that.
We saw no gameplay. We saw no gameplay. It could just be that there are 4 different classes, a la sort of a Borderlands type situation. There are 4 different characters. Oh god,
it could be a hero shooter, Rob. Could be Overwatch, right? So you got 4 good guy characters, and you saw 4 bad guy hero characters. So you do.
Yes, you saw one of them get killed in the trailer.
Yeah, but sure, but they could all come back. It could just be like, that's the good guys winning that round. So it could be a hero shooter.
Strongly disagree.
The worst option.
Strongly disagree.
I mean, if your argument is you can't tell from the pre-rendered cutscene, and so I'm saying you can't tell. It could be that as well. So we
by
don't
that logic,
know.
It could be a racing game.
I mean, there's not really any cars in it, but no. All I'm saying is, like you said, we don't know yet. It's very early, but I'm thinking Arcane. So Arcane obviously are known for Dishonored, Deathloop that's coming, Prey. They don't really scream to me either of those things. They don't really scream hero shooter, and they don't really scream Left 4 Dead style game. So, but it's co-op, so it's a different beast for them. They're not co-op studio either, are they? So I don't really.
That's what makes me think whether you pick an archetype of player you want to be. Do you want to be the close quarters combat magic type person? Do you want to be the long range sniper rifle with a pet bird type person? That kind of thing. I think that's what they'll go down. There'll be like skill trees and things like that.
When you said sort of more like almost like you said Borderlandsy,
a little bit ish, yeah.
Yeah, but but that also when you were talking then about sniper rifle guy with a bird, you literally described a character in
Mordecai.
Overwatch. Yeah, but also a character in Overwatch.
Use the sniper rifle with a bird in Overwatch.
Is he not? I'm sure there's a guy with a bird, isn't there? Who does like a bit like the Falcon, and he sends out a robot bird thing, and he has a sniper rifle. I don't know, but there's someone. But we don't know. It's curious, yeah.
This is an open world shooter.
Okay, open world shooter.
Oh.
Just looked it up. Open world shooter is what it says.
Well, that leads more towards Rob's dream of a kind of vampire.
Dream is a bit strong.
I ideal.
guess and analysis is what I'm going with.
But you love your Borderlands, is what I mean.
I do.
So I would play a game in a Borderlands vein that's not cell shaded, maybe a different type of thing, an arcane experience. That could be cool. There aren't really many like that. But I guess the thing that makes Borderlands is the loot shooter element, and I don't get that vibe from this. It seems to be more class specific. But I don't know. I mean, it's exciting because I love the idea of these vampire shit. Like, that seems really cool. And the only reason I guess I gravitated towards the Left 4 Dead was that it wasn't just, you didn't just see those four, or the four, however many baddie guy characters there were, but they had like grunts as well, who could be the filler enemies. So, you know.
But those had guns.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, you know, it's Left 4 Dead, but your enemies are guns. You could still be a wave-based, you know, AI directed stuff. But it just doesn't. But you're right. It doesn't feel like Arcane, but neither does Borderlands style. So I don't know what this is. Like,
which makes
neither
me think
of those.
it's something that neither of us are guessing.
Yeah, because
it's something different.
Arcane make immersive sims. So like,
and it could just be fixed characters.
What the fuck is this? Like. I don't know. I mean, look, studios don't have to always make the same types of games, and frankly, it's nice when they don't. So maybe they're just branching out in some weird way. I don't know. There's not a lot to go on here. I'm going to be definitely keeping an eye on the internet if they, you know, do we have a window on this? We don't, do we? It's the future.
Next year.
Oh, we do. It's 2022, is it? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So it's not millions of miles off. So I'd expect them to start talking about it. They would have all of the gameplay designed, as it were, at this point. You know, they'd be quite far along, so stuff will start coming out then, I guess, now that it's out there and been announced. But is this them saying, sorry about Deathloop, sorry, we'll make one for you guys? Is that okay? Sorry, bad timing.
No, I think this was something that they were working on before the acquisition, and Microsoft went, SARS now, and then so it has been. But I'm happy it's shooting involving vampires. It's not zombies, which I'm happy about.
The stake
zombies
guns
have been done a lot.
Stake guns and UV weapons and stuff. I was like, this is so cool. This is Blade 2, baby. This is the good shit. Bring it on. I love all that. Like, oh god, and her shotgun. It's got to be silver, isn't it? It's got to be silver pellets. Yes. All that's so fun. That's great. And then we hit with like you said, magic. Like the magic spectral hook thing, and like what the hell was that?
The spectral elevator,
and the elevator
just like throw people in, and they went up a story. That was.
I love that.
And then she had a weird umbrella thing as well.
What was that magic umbrella? It looked crazy.
This world is mad. I love it already.
And then at the
end, when she was reloading the gun, and she was like doing that to put the bullets in, and then did that to like do the clip, and not actually held like the. No, there's probably a better name, but for the actual component of the gun I'm talking about. But yeah, that was just.
So the character design was really strong as well. I thought, you know, if you're going to do, you want recognizable silhouettes in a hectic shooter environment. So they definitely had that. They all looked really unique. You know, some might argue a tad over designed, but I actually quite liked them, and they looked like diverse and stuff, which was fun. And the enemies were the same. That makes me think. You know, you're going to need to recognize these enemies quickly and on the fly, so it's going to be some kind of hectic something.
Fast-paced event when they show up. Yeah.
Who knows? Obviously, the elevator made me think verticality. So there's going to be a big element of fighting in different vertical spaces. So that's cool as well. But Christ, I still can't work out, like, considering their pedigree, what this is. Yeah. Something entirely new. Like new IP, new ideas. You know, Arcane do new stuff, so that is an exciting developer to put stuff out. I know I was talking to some people.
IP.
It's new IP.
That's the big thing.
Bite back, baby. Bite back. I like that. It was good little slogan they had on his shirt, and they had it at the end of the trailer. Also, that bit right at the end with the whole weird eclipse stuff and there's like weird shit going on, a big baddie dude, and I was like, this is cool. This is
the many arms.
Cool world. Like, what is going on here? Some mythos is being built. That was a really cool way to close stuff out on a new IP. Exciting. Getting us hyped.
And just read it, because I'm really interested in looking at it. That, what is it? I don't necessarily think that those characters are all of them, from what it's saying here.
Ooh. Do tell.
Players will be able to choose their character from a diverse cast and then explore the open world with their friends as they attempt to liberate the town of Redfall, Massachusetts from its new vampire occupants.
Ooh. That sounds a little bit like Pick Your Own Saints Row.
Sounds... Do you know what it reminded me of? Extraction. It's got a bit of an Extraction vibe to it because the different operators, and that you go out with them. But I think the mission structure will be a bit more structured for that. But this is an open world. I don't really know what that is.
Intriguing, isn't
That's
it?
very curious.
Yeah.
Co-op, open world, explore, and also then fight enemies when you come across them. It's a bit Division-y, I guess, a little bit like the Dark Zone in Division and stuff like that. And
I was thinking almost Destiny-esque.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's what this is. Maybe this is a persistent world shooter. Maybe that's where we're going. But be interesting going down that direction with fixed character archetypes. Because so the whole point of an open world game is that growth, isn't it? And you put time in and build your character. But obviously there's still the potential for that. We just haven't seen it. I mean, maybe it's like a class. Maybe they're like Warlock, Titan, Hunter, and you still get to find stuff for them and loot and upgrade and that. The elevator, would be what, like a grenade throw or an ability use, right? So from a Destiny term. So maybe that's what we're talking about. I mean, that's the dream of every studio, to make a persistent world game that can stay in perpetuity and make them money forever off of microtransactions. A game like this, if they don't have MTX costumes, I will eat my hat. But again, it's very weird for Arcane. That's not the game Arcane has ever made anything like. So
they could be just wanting to do something new,
Well, yeah, that's it. I mean, that's what you do, though, isn't it? I guess if you come up with new ideas and this doesn't fit my
start with
IPs.
the idea, and then work out what sort of game it needs to be to work best. So I'm really excited for Redfall. It's the most excited I've been of a new IP in a while. So,
because how often do you get a new IP that's not from an indie or a double A?
Exactly.
It's actually from a big boy. It's pretty rare. So
this is Bethesda going new IP. The last new IP we had, I think, from Bethesda was Starfield.
Yes, which was been talked about for like 4 years at this point.
Exactly. I'm excited for next year.
It also says it's somewhere in between multiplayer and single player.
What the? Isn't that like Extraction, where they said, "Oh, you can play the single player, but then in brackets, you'll get fucked if you do." So
I reckon it's like Halo 5.
Oh, okay.
Where you're a person, but you have AI or your friends as teammates. So the 4 people, like say 4, will always go round as a crew.
I forgot
you control one. And then you have the other 3 as AIs or your friends. So it's multiplayer, but it's also single player. And it's that balance, that space in between.
You know what? I totally forgot that was even a thing in Halo 5.
It's how I got past the final boss.
I totally forgot you could have real people in that game. Holy shit, I totally forgot that. We're going to find... Obviously, we'll find out more soon, hopefully. Yeah. As we go towards the end of the year, I suspect. Things like Game Awards and TGS and stuff like that. So hopefully we'll get more later. Who wants to tell me about the last final announcement, which we're going to own as soon as possible?
Post stream, they confirmed that there is going to be an Xbox Series X mini fridge, because it was a bit of a meme, wasn't it? That it
just
looked like a fridge,
just a bit, just a tiny.
Yeah.
Tiny meme.
So they have steered into it, and I like it when companies steer into this sort of stuff.
And they've gone,
it's a fridge. We've made you a fridge. So that's coming for the holidays this year.
I love it. I want one, especially at the minute while it's so... Is that how long we've got to wait for the holidays?
Yeah, holidays.
It's a fridge. We want it in the summer, you tits. I don't want it in the holiday. I want it now. It's so hot.
Let me just call Phil Spencer. Ben says you're
I will tweet him. It's at P3, I believe, isn't it? Yeah. So let me just.
By all means,
reach out.
You let me know how that tweet goes.
I'm sticking to everything right now, Rob. It's really uncomfortable. I don't like it. I need a fridge in my office. Stat. So
let's just say, whatever happens, after the holidays, I'm sure you'll have an Xbox Series X fridge behind you somewhere.
It will be where that lamp is on his table now. Just stood there.
I've got a nice place here as well, right next to me. I could just.
Yeah, but then it won't be in shot.
Oh, true. Yeah, I've got to show this shit off. Good point. Right.
Yeah.
That brings us to the end of the Xbox Bethesda showcase, and boy, oh boy, what a showcase it was, wasn't it? There you go. Said the same thing as me, Jinx. I think at exactly the same moment. Highlights. Number 1, with a bullet. What have we got? I'll go to Leah first because Rob hates it when I go to him first. So.
It was dreadful.
I only hate it when you go to me first because
right.
never. Oh, sorry.
So I was just gonna say, because we and Rob did a lot of talking to Redfall there. Did you have anything else you wanted to add? Like, if that was your favourite?
No, it just looked really, really, really cool. It looked interesting, and the characters looked great. Yeah. And
you play that? You'll join with us then, sort of thing. You'll get in on that. Yeah, cool, yeah. Awesome. I want to be a sassy casting magic lady. She looked cool as F. They all did, didn't they? What about like flaming eye dude, like sniper guy?
I want to be sniper guy with the bird.
Oh,
that
I also
can talk to.
I don't know about you, but I thought the audio levels were a bit crap on that trailer. I definitely want to watch it again because I did miss some of their dialogue. But like, did you notice that the nerdy guy was Renfield, which is obviously from Dracula, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's a nice little callback to some classic vampire stuff. And obviously, you know, he was the techie guy, like doing. He builds the weapons. I'm gonna guess. I'm building the headcanon right now. So he's the guy doing that. And I like the look of his sort of stuff as well because he was the one with the stake gun.
Cool. I reckon he's the vampire expert.
Yeah, he's the expert tech. He's the Q of the group. Like he's the one.
Not for tech, for vamps.
Who's for tech? Who's the tech one?
I reckon the one with the robot is the one with the tech.
Oh, the robot lady. Yeah, she's the one that nearly got choked out by the vampire, isn't she?
Yes.
Yeah, that was intense. Actually, there was some great moments in that trailer. It was really, really well put together. So that was your moment. What about you? Oh, so cute, cat.
The only reason I hate you coming to me first is because I never can nail it down to one moment of hype because they're always about 3. So yeah, Redfall for me, Hades coming to Game Pass for me, and which surprised me is the fact that Halo's got me a little bit interested because I was very hot and cold on that. I'm interested. And other than that, I'm legitimately interested in 12 minutes. That's
never pick one.
An actual high point for me. I can never pick one. No.
So greedy.
When it's all such high quality as that, how can you pick just one?
I'm going to pick one.
Of course.
Just because, first of all, I didn't think there was any way it was coming out this year. Secondly, I had no hope that it was going to impress me as much as it did. It has to be... Well, no. I'm going to say Halo. I'm not going to say Forza. You mouthed Forza. I'm going to say Halo. I was really into Forza, but the thing with Forza is they're consistently awesome. I have no doubt a new one will be awesome, and the visual fidelities was incredible. But no, Halo absolutely blew the doors off with that multiplayer trailer. I thought it looked incredible, and in such to show so strongly one of the core pillars of that game, one of the 2 most important factors of that game, that and the campaign, both showed well, and multiplayer looked fucking next level. Like,
considering
it looked insane.
Mixed reactions it had the last time they did a showing of it, this was like night and day.
Yeah, I am, and it's just pipping out Battlefield for me. But no, Halo looked chef's kiss out of 10. And I can't wait. That's like a 12 out of 10.
Is that your new thing?
Yeah, chef's kiss.
Like a gesture out of a number.
Yeah. That's how good it was, Rob. That's how good it was. There's a reason we don't score on experience kills because we can't count. So
it's yes out of 5.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. That's how you do it on experience. You got it. But no, I can't wait. And the fact that I haven't got to wait long, 6 months or so to mate. I so many amazing moments playing Halo 2. Playing Halo 3 multiplayer for the first time at Leipzig in 2007, where we kicked off a whole bunch of local kids because we had press passes and then we were given extra time as well, and they wanted to murder us. It was the best. So those moments in Halo multiplayer will always stick with me, and when it looks that damn good and that damn fun, I'm there.
Fair enough. Cannot say fairer than that.
Somehow, we've gone for nearly 2 hours talking about Xbox. I thought this was going to be an hour long. So that's about 5 hours of podcasting today. But it's E3. Why am I surprised? This happens every year, Rob. But it's your first. But every year, I think it will be less time, and it's never less time. But what an incredible showing, guys! I am so hyped. This is easily the best thing we've seen out of E3 yet as a single show. Absolutely incredible. And I think we wrap it up here. If you guys are happy with that, unless there's any last bits you wanted to put in.
Yep.
Just show me goddamn Fable.
You're gonna have to do it, Xbox, because she's gonna keep being grumpy if you don't. I mean, that will be bad. Just saying. But well done, Xbox. Well done, Bethesda. Fantastic show. Lots of things to be excited about. We have been Experience Kills. You can find us at Experience Kills on Twitter. You can find me at DIYE, and you can find Rob at Homeless Mr. Gibbs. Leo forgoes the Tweetosphere because she is very sensible that way. Please give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. That means the world to us, and it's literally all we ask for. You can also check out these very, very, very lengthy 5 hours of video content on podcast forms that are now available from today. And you can check that out from anywhere a good podcast can be found, including iTunes, Spotify, Acast, and all the rest. And if you know anywhere that it isn't available, do let me know, and I will make it my quest, my personal destiny-based fate to sort that out for you. I swear that will be the thing that happens. That's in my future, I can see. So yeah, just let me know if you can't find it, and I will do that. And until next time, which will probably be in about a week, and probably only be one podcast. I don't think we're going to do 2 podcasts every week. I think that's a bit much. Yeah. Bid you adieu, farewell, and have a lovely rest of your E3. Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Au revoir.